Some choices don't change your future. They reveal your character. Michael and Samuel had been best friends for nearly 15 years. They met on their very first day at Harrison & Co., two young graduates with big dreams and empty pockets. From the beginning, they were inseparable. When Michael couldn't afford lunch during his first month, Samuel quietly shared his own. When Samuel doubted himself before an important presentation, Michael stayed late into the night helping him prepare. They celebrated each other's victories and carried each other through disappointments. Everyone in the company admired their friendship. People often joked, "If you see Michael, Samuel won't be far behind." Years passed. Both men worked hard. Both earned promotions. Both became senior managers, yet one dream remained the same. One day, one of them would become chief executive officer. Then, the unexpected happened. After more than 30 years leading Harrison & Co., Mr. Harrison announced his retirement. The news spread through the company like wildfire. Employees whispered in hallways. Managers speculated during meetings. Everyone asked the same question: who will replace him? Most people believed the answer was obvious: Samuel. He was respected, wise, calm under pressure. Even Michael believed his friend deserved it. Or at least, he wanted to believe that. The following Friday, the company held a farewell dinner for Mr. Harrison. Near the end of the evening, the chairman raised his glass. "Ladies and gentlemen, within the next 2 weeks, the board will announce our next CEO." The room erupted into applause. Michael glanced across the room at Samuel. Samuel smiled and quietly said, "Whatever happens, I hope one of us gets it." Michael smiled back. "So do I." But as he looked around the room, he noticed something. Board members kept walking over to Samuel, congratulating him, laughing with him, shaking his hand, almost as if the decision had already been made. For the first time in many years, Michael didn't feel like Samuel's best friend. He felt like Samuel's competition. And without realizing it, a tiny seed had just been planted. Not hatred, not betrayal, just one dangerous thought. What if this was supposed to be my moment? The following Monday, the atmosphere at Harrison & Co. had changed. Every conversation seemed to end with the same question: who will become the next CEO? Some believed it would be Samuel. Others quietly hoped it would be Michael. But neither man spoke about it. They simply continued doing what they had always done, working side by side. Late that afternoon, Michael received an unexpected message. "Mr. Harrison would like to see you in his office. Immediately." Michael straightened his tie and made his way upstairs. As he entered the office, Mr. Harrison stood by the window overlooking the city. Without turning around, he said, "Michael." Dot closed the door. Michael obeyed. For a few moments, the room was silent. Then Mr. Harrison turned around. "I've been watching you for many years, Michael. Your work has impressed me." Michael's heart began to race. Mr. Harrison walked to his desk and placed a confidential file in front of him. "I need your honest opinion." Mikhail looked down at the folder. Across the top were the words, :confidential. Samuel Anderson, . His heart skipped a beat. Mr. Harrison folded his arms. "You've worked closely with Samuel for years. I want to know if he's truly the man everyone believes he is." Mikhail slowly opened the file. Inside were reports showing costly mistakes on a major company project, mistakes that had nearly cost the business an important client. Michael stared at the pages. His hands began to tremble because he recognized every single report. Those mistakes weren't Samuel's, they were his. Months earlier, when Michael's wife had been seriously ill, he had made several expensive errors. Samuel had quietly accepted responsibility. He had protected his best friend without telling anyone. Michael remembered asking him, "Why would you do that?" Samuel had smiled. "Because one day, you'd do the same for me." Michael closed the file. Mr. Harrison looked him in the eye. "So tell me, Michael, can Samuel be trusted to lead this company? Michael opened his mouth, but no words came out. The biggest decision of his life had just arrived.
If you are still watching this, stay tuned because what happens next will surprise you. If you like this story so far, please don't hesitate to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you very much and remain blessed. Now let's continue.
Michael's heart pounded. Mr. Harrison's question still echoed in his mind. Can Samuel be trusted to lead this company? He looked down at the file one last time. He could tell the truth. He could admit the mistakes were his, or he could stay silent. Silence would protect his reputation. Silence might even give him the promotion he had dreamed about for years. For a moment, he remembered the night Samuel stood beside his wife's hospital bed. Michael had been overwhelmed, scared, broken. Samuel had placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "Don't worry about work. I've taken care of everything." Michael never imagined what those words had truly cost his friend. Back in Mr. Harrison's office, every second felt like an hour. Finally, Michael looked up. "I've always known Samuel to be a loyal employee." Mr. Harrison remained silent. Michael swallowed hard. "But," he continued, "those reports do raise serious concerns." The words left his mouth, and immediately he wished he could take them back. Mr. Harrison slowly closed the file. "I understand." His face revealed nothing. No disappointment, no approval, nothing. "Thank you for your honesty, Michael." As Michael left the office, guilt followed him down every step of the hallway. He avoided Samuel for the rest of the day. Later that evening, Samuel caught up with him in the car park. "You've been quiet today," Samuel said with a smile. "Everything okay?" Michael forced a smile. "Yeah, just tired." Samuel nodded. "I know. Tomorrow will be a big day. No matter what happens. I'm proud of you." Michael couldn't even look him in the eyes. For the first time in 15 years, his best friend felt like a stranger. The next morning, every employee received the same email. "All staff are requested to attend an important company meeting at 10 a.m. Michael stared at the message. Deep inside, he knew. Whatever happened next would change everything. 10 o'clock arrived. Every employee gathered in the company's conference hall. The room buzzed with excitement. Some smiled, others whispered. Everyone was waiting for one announcement. Mr. Harrison walked onto the stage. The room fell silent. He looked around before speaking. "For over 30 years, this company has been built on hard work, trust, and integrity." He paused. "The board and I have carefully chosen the person who will lead Harrison & Co. into the future." Michael felt his palms begin to sweat. Samuel sat beside him, calm as ever. Then Mr. Harrison smiled. "Our next Chief Executive Officer is Michael Carter." The room erupted into applause. Michael froze. He had imagined this moment for years, but somehow it didn't feel the way he thought it would. He slowly stood as everyone congratulated him. Samuel was the first to shake his hand. "I'm proud of you, brother," Samuel said with a genuine smile. "You've earned it." Michael forced a smile. "Thank you." But every word felt heavier than the last. That evening, the company held a celebration. Everyone laughed. Music filled the room. People raised their glasses to the new CEO. Yet Michael stood alone by the window, watching the city lights, holding a glass he never drank from. Across the room, he saw Samuel laughing with his colleagues. There was no bitterness, no anger, no jealousy, just kindness. That hurt Michael even more. Late that night, after everyone had gone home, Michael sat alone in his new CEO office. He looked at the nameplate on his desk. Michael Carter, Chief Executive Officer. This was everything he had ever wanted. So, why did he feel like he had lost something far more valuable? 3 months passed. Michael buried his guilt in work. Then, one Monday morning, his secretary knocked on the door. "Mr. Harrison would like to see you." Michael smiled. Perhaps his mentor wanted to congratulate him. He had no idea. His entire world was about to change. Michael smiled as he walked towards Mr. Harrison's office. He assumed this was another meeting about the company's future. Instead, it became the hardest conversation of his life. As he entered, Mr. Harrison was already seated. Several members of the board were there too. The atmosphere was unusually serious. "Please, have a seat," Mr. Harrison said. Michael sat down. Mr. Harrison folded his hands. "3 months ago, I asked you a question." Michael nodded. "Can Samuel be trusted to lead this company?" Michael felt his stomach tighten. Mr. Harrison continued. "That meeting was never an investigation. It was a test." Michael frowned. "A test?" Mr. Harrison slowly opened another file. "We already knew those mistakes belonged to you. The records had been corrected months before. We also knew Samuel accepted the blame to protect your career while your wife was fighting for her health." Michael's face turned pale. Mr. Harrison looked at him with sadness. "I wasn't looking for the smartest leader. I was looking for the most trustworthy one. You had one opportunity to tell the truth, and you chose yourself over the man who sacrificed everything for you." The room fell silent. Then came the words Michael never expected. "Effective immediately, you are removed as Chief Executive Officer." Michael couldn't believe it. "You set me up," Mr. Harrison calmly replied. No, Michael. I simply gave you the opportunity to reveal your character. Skills may build a company, but character keeps it standing." A few weeks later, the board offered the CEO position to Samuel. To everyone's surprise, he declined. "I cannot accept a position that cost my best friend his peace. I'd rather build something where integrity is our greatest achievement." Samuel resigned and started his own company. Within a year, many talented employees chose to join him, not because he paid the highest salaries, but because they trusted the man he was. Months later, Michael walked into Samuel's new office. He wasn't wearing an expensive suit anymore. He wasn't a CEO. He was simply a man carrying the weight of his choices. Samuel stood up and smiled. Michael lowered his head. "I don't deserve your forgiveness." Samuel walked over and embraced him. "I forgave you a long time ago. Now it's time you learn to forgive yourself and become the man you were always meant to be." Michael broke down in tears. For the first time, he understood something no promotion could ever teach him. Titles impress people. Character impacts lives. And in the end, the greatest success isn't found in the position you hold. It's found in the person you become. The end.
Success is not measured by the position you hold, but by the character you carry. Michael gained the promotion he had always dreamed of, but he lost something far more valuable, his integrity. Samuel lost the promotion, yet he kept his honesty, loyalty, and compassion. In the end, it was Samuel who was truly successful. The Bible reminds us, what good is it for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul? Mark 8:36. Never allow pride, greed, or ambition to lead you into making choices that dishonor God or hurt others. Every decision we make reveals what is truly in our hearts. The Bible also says, "Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall." Proverbs 16:18. Michael's downfall didn't begin when he lost the CEO position. It began the moment he chose ambition over integrity. And remember this:
The integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity. Proverbs 11:3. God is far more interested in your character than your title. Promotions may come and go, wealth may increase and disappear, recognition may fade, but a life built on integrity will stand the test of time. If you're waiting for God to elevate you, don't compromise to get there. Trust His timing. The promotion that comes from God never requires you to betray your values, your friends, or your faith. May we choose humility over pride, integrity over greed, and faithfulness over personal gain. Because in God's kingdom, the greatest victories are not found in climbing higher, but in becoming more like Christ.